Hello everyone. Let's talk about something that's, bothered me for a while. It's called high fructose corn syrup. I mean, this stuff is in everything. Uh, from your sodas you drink, even like stuff that you would think is healthy for you these days, like tomato soup. Campbell's tomato soup has water, tomato, and high fructose corn syrup. There's a lot of people that say, I want to, not eat genetically modified GMO corn, GMO tomatoes. This just basically means that they don't want to eat genetically modified, you know, tomatoes or corn or any other fruits or vegetables. And the reason why they genetically modify this stuff is because they want to make it resistant to like pesticides. Like in watermelons, they want to have seedless watermelons. I mean, that's great, but sticking back to the point of high fructose corn syrup, this stuff, I mean, it's made from corn, okay? But it's manufactured. It's not refined from corn per se. It's made in a lab, and this stuff, I mean, for example, your body doesn't. I mean, they use it as a filler for sugar, as a replacement for sugar, and we all know sugar is a cause of diabetes. But even more than sugar, high fructose corn syrup is even more of a cause for diabetes. I mean, your body doesn't process high fructose corn syrup like it does sugar. Your body will turn sugar into energy. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong, sugar is bad for you too, but your body will process sugar that you consume into energy. It does not do the same for high fructose corn syrup. With high fructose corn syrup, it turns that directly into fat. Directly. Okay? And that's just because it's manufactured. Your liver, when it processes this stuff, it processes it directly into fat. It does not turn this stuff into energy, okay? It's not like sugar. It is worse than sugar. And you find this stuff in things that aren't even sweet tasting, it's a filler. It's a filler in a lot of foods. Even in a lot of cereal that you would think would be healthy or high in fiber, high in protein. Okay, maybe it is, but it's also high in high fructose corn syrup, and this stuff is so deadly, man. I mean, and it's in everything. If you start reading product labels at the grocery store, you can't stay away from this stuff. And there's people that tell me, oh, I want to eat stuff that is free of all GMOs, genetically modified organisms. That means they don't want to eat anything that's genetically modified corn. It has genetically modified corn in it, genetically modified anything. But if it has high fructose corn syrup, then I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you're eating genetically modified stuff. Okay, high fructose corn syrup. When they make this stuff, you think they're using GMO free ingredients? I don't think so. And not only that, products don't say, "Oh, this is GMO free," because really, it's in stuff that you wouldn't think that would have genetically modified organisms in it. So, just something to think about, okay? And high fructose corn syrup is neither sugar nor corn, okay? And they petitioned to the FDA to have it changed. They wanted the name changed because high fructose corn syrup. I'm not the first one to talk about this. This got a lot of negative press, okay? People are starting to realize that this stuff is bad for you. There's been studies on lab rats and stuff like that, and they give them sugar water in one cage, and they give them high fructose corn syrup water in another cage, and the rats that are drinking the high fructose corn syrup get dramatically larger. They're fat rats, okay? And it's crazy. And they petitioned to the FDA to have the name changed on all product labels so that it doesn't say high fructose corn syrup anymore. Well, this is what they wanted. They didn't want it to say high fructose corn syrup anymore. They wanted it to say corn sugar. Okay? Now that right there tells me that they're they're trying to get that passed because they know not only that high fructose corn syrup has negative press, but also that if they put corn sugar as on the list of ingredients of any product, um, you would think, oh, it's corn and it's sugar. That could not be further from the truth. It is neither corn nor sugar, okay? And that's just another way of them hiding it in the products that you consume, and they don't want consumers to know that they're putting it in there, okay? This is their way of forcing us to consume this stuff and think it's okay. Give it to your kids. Don't worry about it. Don't do any research, And guess who the big kingpin is? Monsanto. The same people that are putting out all these genetically modified organisms are making this high fructose corn syrup, because this is how they are putting it in the mainstream. They are putting it in everything. Your ketchup, your tomato sauce, your tomato juice, any and everything you can think of probably has high fructose corn syrup. And not even just liquid products, cereal, like I already talked about. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, this is just something that you should always think about, and it's crazy because I hear people say, oh, about the genetically modified stuff. High fructose corn syrup is bad news, guys, okay? You got to think, when they're using this genetically modified corn, okay, to make this high fructose corn syrup, the genetically modified corn is modified so that it is resistant to pesticides. This is so that they can use strong pesticides on their crop, okay, keep bugs away from it. Those pesticides, sure, they don't harm the corn like it would non-genetically modified corn. However, that corn absorbs those pesticides within the plant. That's what plants do. They absorb whatever is put into the water. Like, if you're using bad water to grow crops, it's not going to work. It's going to get absorbed into the plant, and it's going to poison the plant and kill the plant. This is why they're genetically modifying the corn, okay, so that it can absorb these pesticides and be okay. Now what's happening is, because this corn that has been genetically modified is absorbing these pesticides that these farmers are using, it in turn has these pesticides inside the corn, okay, because it has absorbed it. Now once it's turned into high fructose corn syrup, guess what? Those pesticides are also inside. All those toxins, all those things that are in those pesticides are inside of that corn. When they turn into high fructose corn syrup, guess what? It's inside the high fructose corn syrup. This is something that, I think a lot of people need to, think about and look for when you're shopping. I mean, don't just look for GMO free, okay? When you're at a restaurant, you can ask the people, do you use non-GMO corn? Do you use non? Yes, we do. Okay, right. But what about the, ketchup you're having with the fries? Is that GMO free? Absolutely not. Okay. Like I said, high fructose corn syrup, if it has any of that in it, you can consider it as a GMO product, and that's the bottom line. No matter what you're looking at, it is bad for your health, and it's going to eventually kill you. You want to try to stay away from it as much as you can. Okay. This is my health channel. I'm trying to share everything that I know. I work retail, so I also know that, this stuff is in everything. I mean, okay, well, not everything, but it's in 90% of everything you eat. Everything you like, everything that you think your body craves, okay? High fructose corn syrup is in it. This is like the number one addictive substance of our generation, okay? It used to be sugar way back when, okay? Now everyone wants fat-free. Everyone wants no calories. Okay, the bottom line is, there are plenty of other dangers out there and other things that you should look for if you want to have good health, if you want to be healthy, if you want to not be obese, if you want to, change the way you eat. It's super hard to do, okay? Super hard to do. And, I mean, people talk about conspiracy theories and all this stuff, and this is the number one conspiracy theory plaguing all of our planet. Like, seriously, this is going to be the deciding factor on who's in charge, and what the agenda is, because really this stuff seems like it's designed to force feed us GMO. I mean, it's designed to be in everything you enjoy. If you like eating it, it's probably bad for you. Our bodies, I mean, we're eating more and more food that's non-nutritional, has no nutritional content. High fructose corn syrup has no nutritional content in it. I mean, you can think about it, okay? At least sugar, when your body processes it, it turns into energy. High fructose corn syrup does not, it does nothing for the body but make you fatter. That's what it does. That's all it does. And I'm sure it tastes great, and I'm sure, you know, it's an addictive substance. It's probably just as bad as any other drug that's addictive that makes you feel good, okay? I mean, it's crazy. And I think that people need to think about it while they're, you know, buying their favorite snacks at the grocery store, or you know, at the gas station wanting to get some munchies because they're on their long road trip. You know, you need to think about these things and what you're feeding your children, because like I said, like, this is like any other addictive substance. You give them a lot of this stuff, and guess what? They're gonna crave it. They're gonna want it. They're gonna not necessarily look for anything that contains high fructose corn syrup, but they're gonna have cravings for things that contain high fructose corn syrup. For example, Lucky Charms, you know, Coca-Cola, Red Bull. All of the energy drinks pretty much have it. Red Bull being the #1 worst one, because it not only does it have high fructose corn syrup, but it probably also has sugar, sodium, you know, other dangerous things that we should probably try to avoid. But anyways, I just wanted to make this video to let everyone know. I mean, they have these ads that this big ad campaign that whoever, the big wigs of the high fructose corn syrup, you know, production line, are putting out these ads, and they're silly ads talking about, oh, do you know the truth about high fructose corn syrup? I mean, seriously, you should know, okay? And if you don't, then hey, I'm glad you watched my video. I'm glad I could share this stuff with you, because they have a point. Nobody knows the dangers pretty much about high fructose. I mean, granted, I know people are starting to realize, okay? And that's really what it takes, a little bit of realization on the part of consumers, because right now I think that a lot of people are just mindlessly shopping and buying and you know, consuming the stuff that they like. And you can like stuff that is healthy, and you can like stuff that's not going to harm your body. And shame on these big companies for just using this stuff and kind of using subversive tactics to trick us. And that's really what it is. It's a trick. It's a trick. I'd rather have, you know, pure cane sugar or you know, anything other than high fructose corn syrup, and really you can't get away from it. I mean, you just think it's in probably the mayonnaise you eat at your restaurant, the ketchup they use on your hamburger, you know, any little ingredient that they could possibly use could potentially contain this high fructose corn syrup. I mean, the problem is so widespread. It's something to think about. You know, I'm not trying to scare anybody or freak them out, but you know, in moderation, I'm sure you'll be alright. It's nothing that, you know, is going to kill you right away. This is something that over time develops more long-term problems, such as diabetes. I mean, people talk about sugar being the worst enemy and the leading cause of diabetes. Incorrect. It's high fructose corn syrup, because that is in more stuff than you would find sugar in nowadays. They would rather use high fructose corn syrup. I mean, the reason why this stuff was created was not only to subversively give us genetically modified stuff, but also there was taxes and tariffs placed on sugar that make it a cheaper alternative for these companies to use in their products. And not only that, it's also increases the shelf life of a lot of these products because they use high fructose corn syrup. And that's a big plus for, you know, people like Ocean Spray that are supposed to be this healthy cranberry juice or anything else, you know. That is a plus for these big companies that are making these products for retail stores. You tell them they can increase their shelf life, then that means more money in the bank. They can leave that product on the shelf for a longer period of time until someone walks along and picks it up and puts it in their shopping cart. So this is a big problem, guys. Think about it. Leave me comments. You know, rate this video, subscribe, and let me know what you think. You know, I'm willing to chat with whoever would like to chat about it. You know, leave a comment below, and have a good day.